welcome back to episode of Hostile Therapy with your host Big Red, and returning for another show, Mr. Chris Styles and
Hey, man.
What's up? What's up?
What's good, peoples?
She's ready to go have some therapy on the show and release whatever stresses that her job brought her today.
Oh, yes, Lord.
I can do both hands.
Can you?
Yeah. And I can wink both eyes.
Oh, you talented.
This guy.
He said, and I can blink.
How have y'all been over the course of the last week or so?
Go ahead, Raz. You go first.
Man, I am looking for a sugar daddy because I'm just playing. My week has been good. I've been working, thriving, elevating my people, working out, getting my body right.
Word. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm kind of in that space right now, and I'm starting to exercise, getting my cornhole on. Get my modeling on. 51. Still trying to make it happen.
Modeling at 51. All right.
I can't believe you 51.
For sure.
See,
it's been a very busy, very taxing 3 weeks actually, but I'm hanging in there.
Good. Yeah, meditation. I feel like, when we work out, we get closer to the higher being and we get closer within ourselves. So, even though I work out for like 2 to 3 hours,
Wow.
I don't suggest that to other people, but I got a lot of stuff going on in my head that's what I need. And
you work it out.
I'll be working it out.
Yeah. The irony of that is if you don't work out, you also get closer to a higher being too.
Yes, you do.
Oh, balance or the non-balance.
Or you get closer to, one of them people on my 600-pound life. They don't ever leave them.
That's a good show. I love that show.
I love that show too.
It inspires me not to get there.
Yes, it does. But it's also beautiful to recognize that people go through things and they have, mental issues or they've been bullied, self-esteem issues like that. That is severe.
That part, that's a very good point, because probably 90% of them, whoever got that big 600-pound, 700-pound, usually it's something stemming from childhood that they went through, and they internalize it and treat it by eating food. Some people do drugs, some people, I don't know, self-harm themselves or whatever. And you can say
outlets,
same thing, but eating is not seen as a drug. Universally, just seen as a way to live. So it's kind of hard you got to think about it. Like a drug, cocaine, you don't need cocaine in your life. People would differ from that, but you don't need cocaine in your life, so you can get away from cocaine and say, I'm done cold turkey. Food, you have to eat food. There's just no way around. So it's like, if you want to break the habit, you got to do more than just say, I'm going to stop eating food, because you can't do it. You got to find the place of that food somewhere else to get love from besides that food. That's a lot of people replace love with food.
Yeah, they do. They just have low self-esteem, and then they just didn't get the love that they needed from their family or, relationships. Because, me personally, I just dealt with a heartbreak, and I'm still kind of like getting over it. I'm a thug, though. I'm a thug it out. But it's hard. Like, it really put me in a really bad place for like a good 3 to 4 months. And like, I couldn't even walk past the mirror and slap my ass, and I love doing that, and now I'm like, I'm back to me exercising, meditating, and praying and investing in me, because it just starts with self. If you can invest in yourself, it's like you're gonna go places nobody is gonna like hold you back. You don't need people to like feed into you and say you beautiful. If you notice you beautiful, it don't even matter.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That being said, let's go. Let's get into the first story for the day. This is Chris's fault for bringing this story up.
Oh, Chris. What did you do, Chris?
I don't know.
Chris
I don't know.
Chris gave me an extra reason to not go to this restaurant.
Oh, okay. I see.
You hear about this story?
Yeah, where the man peed in a milkshake machine.
Oh, that's all he did. But also the irony of that is, I think they've been peeing their food for years. That's why it tastes so horrible.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I never really ate at Arby's other than the gyros when they had the little 2-for-1 special.
Yeah, it's 2 for $6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 for $6.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
that's basically one for me.
Let me read quick on this. So, let's see. Police accuse an Arby's manager in Washington State of urinating in a milkshake mix. The manager, Stephen Sharp, is also being charged with 4 counts. This is unrelated somewhat to Arby's. He is charged with 4 counts related to child pornography. Sharp said he's almost sure he threw the contaminated mix away. So, maybe that's one off of his docket. An Arby's manager admitted to urinating at least twice in the company's milkshake mixture, according to a report from the Vancouver police in Washington. The police said in a press release that they obtained footage of the night manager, Stephen Sharp, urinating into a milkshake mix container. Sharp confirmed the incident with police and said he had done it for sexual gratification. There ain't nothing sexy about Arby's. The Vancouver police said they are looking for individuals who have purchased the contaminated milkshakes on October 30 or 31st of 2021 at the Arby's location at Vancouver, Washington. So if anyone has eaten Arby's or drink some milkshakes from Arby's on October 30 through the 31st, you have drank piss. And I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, and man, listen, that's some awful. And I mean, there's some awful people in this world, man. And it's I don't look. Take one home and do it home if you're going to do it, but don't bring it to work. Whatever you do in your house is what you do in your house. But when you play with somebody else's food or something that they're consuming, and that's awful. It's just like, there was 2. There was an police officer, and his wife was a teacher, and they collaborated and had some cookies and stuff that they brought to school birthday, and put the man's semen in the cupcakes and the cookies, and the kids had the kids to eat it.
I remember that.
What nasty ass people would do something like that? They got to be really sick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then recently there was a post. The group of people for Stranger Days, the kids in Stranger Days. No, I mean Stranger Things. Yeah, okay. There was a post where this school teacher, somebody had asked them a question, and they was like, said something to the effect that semen is sweet, or semen is bitter, or something of that effect. And and the girl in the back said, she answered the question, was like, no, it's bitter. Like, it was crazy, man. Like, I got to show you what I mean. Yeah. I was just like, what? You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of crazy stuff out here. But that's one thing I would never do, is play with somebody's food, dishes, or anything like that. If I catch somebody doing something like that, somebody going to have to come bail me out. Yeah.
I would gladly try to bail you out, man.
I would bail you out too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, this is why I've gotten to be such a better cook over the last couple years. That and COVID, because people didn't want to go to restaurants anymore because they thought people were gonna cough on their food. But you just don't know what people are doing to your food because people are evil.
Right.
And this isn't new. I mean, I worked at a fast food restaurant, so I know the evils that happen in the back of a fast food restaurant, and there's certain one I won't mention that people close to me know I used to work at, but I will not eat at that place for the most part unless I am starving to death and I'm just so dead tired. I'll take the risk of urine in my food or whatever.
Waffle House.
That sounds sad. No. Because at least at Waffle House, you can see what's happening with your food. They're right there. And they still don't care.
They don't. They really don't.
They'll put a syringe in your waffle and your eggs, and you're like, "That's just a parasol or something."
That's crazy. And I think one of the things that I've seen, and like I said, I was like, my family and I have always ordered from there. When I lived in Delaware at some point, there was a big article and lawsuit that came out. And we always order from this place. It's a Chinese restaurant. Had good food, very popular, good food. Lady had ordered her food, and her order was wrong. And I knew why she was upset, because around the holidays, and she was trying to feed her family. People came from out of town, and she was kind of upset. And when she called, and there was something that was also missing. So when she called the place back to let them know, the order was wrong, this and this, blah, blah, blah. Of course, she cursed them out. They redone their food and brought the food back to her. But the person she talked to, I don't know who the manager was or the cook or whatever like that. Yeah. This butthole had herpes, and he ejaculated in her food. So over the next 2 days, she was getting all these tingly things in her mouth and on her face, and she broke out. And when they done a test on her and the remainder of her food, and that's how they connected how everything happened. And so that was ugly. I can't believe it. It is. Mm-hmm. People are awful out here.
That's gross. I don't know. Like, some people are just raised like that, though. Like, you can only imagine. Like, I had a friend, and every time that they touched a cough or touched something, like, they just would not wash their hands. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, I am a hand washer. I take baths maybe 3-4 times a day.
You find the time to do all this?
I be tired. Shoot, them showers be waking me up.
You working out 2-3 times a day, and you work shifts, and
Planet Fitness is 24/7, so I'll go in there with my flip flops and my towel, and do what I got to do. But people are just disgusting. Like, I don't know what is in their thought process to even ejaculate in someone's food or.
And when do you have time to even do that? Cook it, and you're gonna go do that, and then get it out there to send it to them.
Chris, you know why? They got time. That's why.
He probably thought I was gonna bring the girls to his yard or something. Like Khalees. He would listen to Khalees when he was doing it.
That's not the milkshake.
That is not milkshake.
The milkshake.
They got the milkshake to the yard.
Man, what?
That's why the order is always wrong, because they're busy doing something else. Are we gonna have to start selling condoms at fast food restaurants so this stuff doesn't happen?
No, people are gonna have to wear chastity belts when they work.
Sounds like it.
Because, like, that's just gross. Like, I can't even imagine. And you know what? I don't live in that state, but I think I had drunk a milkshake from there, so I need my coins.
I just don't understand why. Who goes to Arby's anyway?
Seriously.
We talked about this the other day.
I have.
Why? Why do y'all go to Arby's? I need to know.
Yeah.
They have good roasted chicken.
Okay, maybe. I can't say.
They have good roasted chicken, and then when you kind of eating balance of healthy, you got a meat, got your salad, and it's just it's a balanced meal that they have. So
there's just so many other places though that you just could pick over them. I swear.
And it's because the line is short.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. The line is short because nobody wants to go there. The only cars I usually see at Arby's are the employees' cars. I think it's a drug front. That's what I believe. I told Chris that the other day. I believe someone bought it and is using it like as a hobby. There's like some teenager, a lot of money, is running a Arby's as like a hobby. And he doesn't really care. And he's got so much money, that he just keeps it open just for fun.
Because I think that, each of them are just like a McDonald's or somewhere like that. I think they're individually franchised, but they use that name. So I know the ones in our area, they stay pretty packed because a lot of older people like to go there too to eat dinner. And on the inside, it is. I mean, they got some nice places on the inside that you could sit and eat. It's big. It's space.
Is it nice?
It's nice for sure.
Maybe it's a North Carolina thing. Then maybe I got to go to abroad and see, how much better Arby's is in like Virginia or New York or something like that. Maybe it's a
it's the location because the Arby's here.
You'd be like, ugh. Look, ugh.
No, really, you got to check your bread. It might be moldy.
Damn.
Hell, that's the least of the problems now. Somebody peeing in your daggone shake.
Yeah, that's just. But he said it caused him sexual, like what did he say?
Gratification. That's a good.
Yeah.
That was,
to know that these people finna drink my pee. I'm finna be inside these people.
Yeah, right. I don't. Damn.
Maybe that's the same thing R. Kelly went through. I don't know.
No, so it's a difference from a fetish as far as like a sexual. I don't know what to call it because that's an issue that he has. Like
they're both issues, both him and
because a fetish, you got the golden shower fetish. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They actually make fake pee if you want to,
Fake pee?
Yeah. If you go to a sex shop, you have to go in there and say, can I have the golden shower? Do you have anything that can give me a golden shower or something like that? I don't know. Because you can't go in there and say, can you give me fake pee? Because they're going to know you're trying to pass like a drug test or whatever.
Something.
But how do they expel the fake pee?
They got a little fake pee or whatever, and they just shoot. Mm-hmm.
That just seems like a lot of work and a waste of money when you.
And you can warm it up if you want to,
Oh, to make it seem like real junk.
Body temperature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've never done that. I've just heard about it.
Turn my head a little bit on that. Are you sure is?
I just heard about it. No, somebody told me.
All right.
Yeah, somebody. That's funny y'all saying that, right? Now, what I said, I had somebody do that, pee on me in the shower. A girl, she like cocked herself back and was like, I was like, yo, why you do that? Then I peed on her back because I was like that. I mean, I felt this. I was like, that's disrespectful. Yeah. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna get you back.
That happens. I mean, people in relationships do that,
No, they don't.
I don't know.
I mean, I've never peed on anyone or whatever.
I've never peed on somebody.
It's sterile, right?
Oh, but yeah.
Still though.
Now I've seen it in the movies, but I have seen one time or another somebody got knocked out and somebody got knocked out in the fight.
Somebody peeing on them.
And it peed on them.
Man.
Yeah. And then, some people like to, take shits on people. See, what I don't know what y'all aware of the one nun era, what is that, Kids in the Sandbox or something like that?
Huh?
Oh my God.
2 girls in 1 cup.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I thought maybe that's where you were trying to go.
Yeah, and then there was like 1 priest and 1 nun.
No, I ain't see that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, go look it up.
No, I will not. That was the 2 girls in the cup were enough for me.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Still emblazoned in my memory. Yeah. So I'm good on that. All right. Yeah. Let's move away from piss right now to a story. Brittney Griner still imprisoned in Russia, and now we know a little bit more, and I think we got an ulterior motive, a better understanding of the ulterior motive, what's going on over there, because now they're asking for a prisoner swap for her. So this does seem like a political move, and she went. What did she had? Cannabis oil when she went, or cannabis
Yeah,
sausages or something like that for.
hashish hash oil.
Yeah,
Mm.
and she's been in prison for what? I know a few months now.
Few months
4
since
months or something like that, right?
I think February to now.
Okay, so they are wanting an exchange now between a guy who has been in charge of killing or plotting to kill U.S. citizens versus someone who is in prison for cannabis oil, basically, or cartridge for smoking, whatever. Not doesn't seem like a fair exchange to me.
Mm-mm.
So that seems like now is a definitely a political ulterior motive for keeping her there.
For sure.
And so, yeah, I don't know what the U.S. is going to end up doing about this, but she definitely needs to be freed from this because how long she's been in there and how long they're keeping her, detaining her, does not match the crime. And I'm talking about not just in the United States. I don't think it matches the crime in Russia.
Yeah.
Because that's why they did it, I believe now, because they're trying to get free a political prisoner that the United States has. So they feel they have leverage because we really cherish our WNBA players.
Right. I was just about to say that she an athlete. So
yeah.
And
again, that's why, when companies are they squabbling, everybody needs to be on alert and do the right thing. And unfortunately, she got caught up. But like I said, I personally feel that she's been doing this for a long time. They knew what she had before she even got there.
Yeah.
Because she's a public person. She's in public places, the hangouts and all that type of stuff.
They're watching.
And they knew. And so they, that's why they pulled her. Because other than that, I'm pretty sure there are probably 10 people going through there with the same thing. And then they get stopped. But yeah, it was, got you.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like, US. Mm-hmm.
So they want to swap her out for a guy named Victor Bout. Victor Bout exploits earned him the nickname the Merchant of Death. Flooded fierce conflicts in Africa and the Middle East with weapons, U.S. authorities say. He was arrested during a sting operation in Thailand in 2008. So he's been there for a while, extradited to the U.S. and sentenced to 25 years for conspiracy to kill U.S. citizens, delivery of anti-aircraft missiles, and providing aid to a terrorist organization. Yeah, that falls in line with what Brittney Griner did. That's
it's neck and neck. You know what I mean? But I hope she's being treated well. You know what I mean? Maybe I hope she's getting a lot of rest. I don't know if she's even able to have any calls to speak to family or whatever that is, but I do wish her well, and I hope she does get back home soon. But I don't know how long that's going to be. But I think Russia was sitting behind. They were in a meeting one day, and it was like, let's see what do we have to trade for Brittney? They came up with that because they should have said that from the gate if that's what they wanted. But I think that was a setup.
It was a setup, and especially with the whole thing in Ukraine, like they need someone to provide weapons to them. They want to take over. This ain't nothing new, so they're like, hey, we have her. We'll give her to you if, we get this vicious person. But the U.S. is not going to do that. They are not going to give over a man that can potentially come over here and give them, all this weaponry and kill us. So they're not going to do that.
That's a good point because
as
much as we think about it, they're going to try to see what's the value in Brittney Griner versus someone who tried to mass kill people. Is it worth trying to make that swap? That's what the U.S. is going to look at.
Yeah.
Do you think they're actually going to swap?
No.
Do you think they value your life not enough to do that?
Well, if it was a Caucasian player, they probably made the swap.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe. But
female Caucasian player.
Yes. They probably would have made the swap.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we don't hear we might hear a couple stories here and there about, oh, she's still here, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. But that'd have been outrage, from, their counterparts, family, and things like that. So there'd be more political pressure. But they don't hear us though. They don't hear her. They don't hear Brittney's family or anybody saying anything. They just gonna take their time about it. So that's what I'm saying. The difference would be, and they seem to move. People they seem to move faster when it comes to other folk than when it comes to us on anything. So
they would at least had a meeting by now to discuss. They would have at least been conversing with them and saying, okay, well, we can't give you him, but who else can we give you, or what can we work out? So they're not going to do that at all.
Because you remember a few years ago, may not have even been that. Yeah, it's about a few years ago, where one of the Ball brothers was over.
Yeah, right.
And they
D'Angelo.
stole, D'Angelo Ball, where he was overturned. They was going to keep him over there.
Yeah,
but they worked something out. I don't know what they worked out, but they worked something out for him to come back home. I'm telling you, he was in China. And I would have beat the brakes off that boy when he came home. I don't know if he couldn't play ball for a year. That's how I'm saying. I would have beat the brakes off that dude.
Oh yeah, you would have beat him so bad.
He wouldn't want to play ball. He wouldn't want to get up. Huh?
I mean, it's not only that. It's just when ICE had U.S. citizens, and they was like, all we want you to do is just get out of the country. If y'all want them, then get out of our country. And they didn't get out of the country.
Right.
So crazy.
Yeah, that they definitely. Well, I think when LeAngelo Ball was over there, I think he was in China, if I'm not mistaken. And they're pretty strict over there too. And I think
you don't want to steal nothing there, bro.
Yeah.
Hell no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, they were willing to put him in prison probably for like a year or so, or whatever. I think he was stealing like some expensive bags or something like that.
Then it was a small bag at that. Like, I think they just doing it for kicks. But listen, he found out quick.
But they got enough money though.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do it. And again, when you young, dumb, and full of what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an impulse thing, though. To some people, they know they can pay for it, but it's just like, ooh, it's an adrenaline rush. Let me just go ahead and take it, or they feel like they can because they're above everybody. But
or they felt that he could get away with it. But
yeah. Well, that will tell you something, though. I do think going back to what we were talking about earlier, the value they saw some value in LeAngelo Ball. And so they were able to work something out. I don't think they see a lot of value in Brittney Griner. And that's why she's still there. I think if it had been anybody else, like a male athlete, very famous male athlete, and not to say LeAngelo is not famous at all.
Yeah.
He's not even the second best of the Ball brothers, but him being a male, that probably helped out a lot versus her being a black female.
Yeah, because
be a player.
And again, it's a shame because when you put on value, especially this being what do you call it? Kind of like a male society situation going on here.
Kind of.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
you're right. She's female, and she's black. She's African American. And so she already got strikes from the gate.
Right. That's not to mention that, she's gay. They probably don't like that.
And
she, yep.
Yeah. So it's a lot of wars being fought here in America, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more of that when we get on this final
right.
episode. The final question that we have for tonight.
I just think that it's kind of sick that Russia is like, ooh, let me go ahead and keep this human being. And she hasn't, I don't even think, has she reached out to her family? So, they're not allowing her to even reach out to anybody like, oh, we'll trade this for another evil human being, but this is a good person. So let's just go ahead and lock her up and ruin her life.
Yeah, she has minimal communication, just besides some of the U.S. ambassadors that are, trying to broker a deal to release her, going back and forth. So she has, minimal communication. I don't think she's even getting to talk to her family besides through other people.
Right.
And that's sad because prisons overseas, man, in other countries and stuff, there's a whole prison, I think it's in Thailand or something, where they don't even have guards. It's just a community, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The little apartments, and people are there doing time. So
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they don't even have guards. I mean, it's secure and stuff. They can't get out, of course, but no, they don't even have guards to watch them. They run the prison themselves.
They run the prison themselves.
Yes. They bring the food. They cook the food. All of that.
And the only time they may have any interaction, the police, like if something bad, terribly happens, then they're going to come in to rectify the situation. But other than that, they pretty much on their own. So I could be a man. Listen, I don't want no parts of that.
All right.
I'll stay my ass here.
Good segue, Chris, to I don't want no parts of Nick Cannon. Have more kids. I think he's working on the 8th kid or 9th kid. I don't want no parts of that. But when you got a certain amount of money, then you can afford to do it. But Nick Cannon is in the news lately, and he's saying he is feeling a little guilty about all the kids he's had by different women and not being able to spend enough time with them, which has been a criticism I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah.
People kept saying, well, at least he pays for the kids, at least they they're secure, at least they got
enough
it back. I'm like, well, it's more than just money. They kind of need time too. And if they're in several different states, I don't know the living conditions. I know they don't live together. It's kind of hard to spread your love equally to all of them at the same time. And I think he's now coming to that conclusion. So now he's thinking about getting a vasectomy. And so because he's, he's feeling guilty about not being able to see his kids on a regular basis or be able to spend a good amount of time with them. He said he tries his best, but I mean, I know he has to fly everywhere to do all these productions he does. He has his hands in so many things. It's like impossible to be able to see him every day.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I work so much that sometimes when I say this, I take care of my son. He's safe, he's with my mom and stuff like that. Okay, so whatever. But some days I may not see him for like 2 or 3 days because I'm working or I'm tired or whatever. I still communicate with him, but I definitely understand that. But you see how quick he's to get a vasectomy instead of using a condom.
Yeah, I peeped that out too. I was like, dude,
why you can't just use a condom? And I know condoms break, but
well, they're not 100% effective, or they are highly effective. But he's just trying to be safe.
That's not being safe.
No, it's not.
Like,
okay,
yeah, I was like, just because like some people believe they latex, and they never believe they're going to get something from somebody. There was a post that I made today that was so alarming about STDs and things being transmitted. So it's like 1 out of every 4 individuals that you see probably have an STD, and that's not even include HIV. But nobody's going to tell you. So I don't know if he or she, or maybe he has them to get tests done prior. I don't think so, but that's what me and a few partners did. If use condoms, but if we felt like we wanted to take it to the next level, we went and got tests done together because Other than that, I'm ain't nothing raw going nowhere.
Man,
And no skin on skin.
I just don't know how you could trust people like that. Like personally, I'm condom. Even when I'm like intoxicated, I'm screaming condom, because I don't play those games. I don't play those reindeer games. No, this this is my life, and then for
Yeah.
two, like it's crazy how some people are willing to commit on having a baby but not being together or, being married or whatever, but you can have a whole baby with somebody. And
They got that understanding though.
yeah, but he's creating single women household. I won't say single parent because he is involved in his kids' lives, so they're not single parents. But as far as like a single woman, yeah, like I didn't have a child to do it by myself.
Right.
Unfortunately it happened, and that's why fooled man can't get fooled again, okay? But I'm not in the game to raise a child by myself, and kids need structure. Kids need two parents in the household.
Right.
So they crave that, even though, they see different kids and stuff with their parents, they're going to crave that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, I understand, but that his situation is a lot different than most people that go into having kids with other people because he is multi-generational secure financially. And I know
Right.
that
Okay.
I know that doesn't make up the whole realm of trying to raise a kid, but it does help, And I think that's what a lot of them went into it, knowing that, hey, at least I'll be financially secure. I will be doing this on my own, perhaps because we might not be talking anymore. But I think they have some sort of understanding, like, hey, no matter what, you and the kids are going to be good, whether I'm like romantically
Mm-hmm.
involved with you or not. You're going to be good. And that's
Yeah.
not 99.7% of the people in the world that can do that. That
Right.
can do that. So it's a
But
different situation.
I was thinking that in my mind too. I was like, that it's a pattern, like I
Mhm.
have the two women that I do have children by. We were in like long-term relationships, and I just had this pre-concept like, yo, that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one. But even with being married to them or whatever that may be, and you move on. It just goes back to being more responsible. Stop having. I mean, not saying that it's irresponsible sex, but if you're not planning on being with this person for a long time, or you're not going to be together, it's just no point in strap up, you know, because you're creating situations like it's irresponsible to have 5, 10 babies, mamas, and like you said, the single household. You leaving them there. There is a co-parenting situation going on, but they're in the household by themselves most of the time. And again, just because of the financial aspect doesn't make anything better because um, as a child, you want your parent there or have access to them more than, they rather have your time than money any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hurtful thing. So I'm thinking probably over the years too, where he was like, it could be the ego thing. Look, you just take this paper. I'm gonna do what I'm doing. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna do whatever. Um, then later on, I'm gonna circle back around and I'm gonna see if I can pull them together and have more time and this and the third. But once the damage is done, it's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Money
yeah,
doesn't solve anything, and that's just saying, oh, I'm willing to have a baby with you because I know I'm gonna be taken care of. So
hmm
it's like I'm not even
Hey,
going in it with pure intention. So I really this is just a cash baby, and
cash baby.
yeah, a cash baby. Like, I had sex with your daddy because he got money. Like, come on
hmm
now, you know. So
yeah,
it's just no. I just know that growing up, I had a man in my life, and he was very, very stable. He had 2 jobs and everything. My mom loved him and everything, but And he was in the household. He had money and everything. He was in the household. But he just would not do anything with us.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Even my mom, still to this day, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm telling your secrets, but I'm telling you, I'm grown. But they would go to the Chinese restaurant, get them some Chinese to-go plates, and sit in the car and eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't even like take us with them or nothing like that. To an extent, I kind of understand because like my son is always wanting my food, but it's just like, we could get whatever we want. We could I had clothes and stuff. I had, books and stuff like that I enjoyed, but like he just was not involved. So money does not solve anything.
So it was more like not having that inclusive real family situation or whatever that is. And I've there was a guy that I met. I used to work with him. And he told me his stuff. He was like, yeah, I'm dating the mama, or, we live together, but I take care of them. But he said, they're not my responsibility. And I was like, wow, are you serious? Dog, like, although you might not be their parent, you're still going to be looked at in some fashion or some way, in leadership role or some type. They connected to you. Like, but he's like, yeah, I speak or whatever, but I don't,
He speaks.
Yeah, he speak whatever. I don't have. He don't really interact too much at all. But I don't even know what type of woman would. We ain't gonna get into that.
Well, I would tell you because I done lived that. Like we didn't even notice the man was there half the time. He would stay in the room and then he worked 2 jobs, so he was always working. So like he just wouldn't really talk to us even when he was there. And my mom, I've asked her over and over why, and she would just tell me that she just did not want to be alone. She's dealt with men who have abused her and used her, and she finally found a man that was stable. And she had 3 children that, very young, and she just did what she had to do until she got to a point where she got stuck and relied on him. And for a minute, it took her 15 years to get away from him, because when we grew up, we started to act up, of course, and she seen how it affected us, and she was like, bye.
Was she married to him?
They were supposed to get married. See, the thing is with some men, they always say, I'm gonna marry you. They get engaged and stuff like that, but they never officially marry you, and they just keep you around, especially when you don't light fire under their ass. They will, if they're like, oh, she's settling, I'm gonna settle too. Like if she hasn't mentioned anything, then it is what it is. So
yeah, but you definitely, although the person is there, like, you definitely don't want to settle down or be with somebody who really don't want to, like, they there but they don't want to be there. Right. It's like a convenience, and you don't want to be, and it happens. Sometimes you might be in love, grow in love, and you might kind of pull away at the end, or however it may go. You may go your separate ways, but yeah, I know it's difficult. You just try, you do your best, but it's difficult. Yeah. But I looked at the pattern that I'm not judging him or anything like that, but it's a pattern with this man, and I was like, is he a secret polygamist? I don't know, but it could be.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it hasn't been put out there yet. I'm just wondering if that's what the situation is, or and sometimes people just agree to different things because they don't want. Maybe they did, maybe they was like, look, it happened. Regardless of our relationship, I know we're gonna be good.
Well, let me clarify this. I don't think this is like a Future type incident, because I don't think. I think Future is going to different people or different women. And having random kids or several kids, by several different women or whatever. Nick Cannon, I think, has a purpose. I think Nick Cannon, he has mentioned, because he has lupus.
Yeah.
and he doesn't think he'll be here on the earth long, and he's trying to leave a legacy. Besides what he's doing in the entertainment industry, I think he said he's trying to leave a legacy through children. He wants to, have as many kids as possible. He just now is starting to realize is that I'm stretched too far thin, and I can't really help raise these kids as much as I want to. And who knows, he may live to be 70 or 80 years old. He thinks he may not live that long, but I don't know what doctors have told him his life expectancy is. But I think he means well. He really wants to be a good father and be around these kids.
Sure.
I think he just now is coming to a realization, like, man, 1 and 2, maybe I could have done a good amount spending time with them, but when it's stretched out to 7 and he's working on 8, and he just lost one, I think last year.
Yeah.
Last year he lost one. He died. Died early. It was like not even 1 year old. I don't think.
No, he's a couple months old. Yeah, he had fluid on his brain.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And the strange thing too is that I just know when I just give you my example of how, although like my mother went away when she was younger, there was Job Corps, but she went away also when she got back. She went away, to nursing school, whatever that is. And I was with my grandmother most of the time, or my aunts or whoever. But not saying it's like, not that you lose love for your mother or something like that, but the person you in the household with kind of becomes our leadership role. Like I start calling my grandma like mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a little minute for that respect and that dynamic to switch back and change. And so, it's even, that's another example. I know I had a friend of mine who was overseas for a while in the military, came back, although the kids knew that was my father because he wasn't there for a long duration, that period of time. He had problems because he came back in a household, like, bossing and commanding and doing different stuff like that, like he did before he left. Looking at him like,
can't you do that?
It ain't gonna work. Like he had a battle on his hands. You understand? And they probably looking at him like, oh, that's my dad. That's my TV dad right there. But what else is there behind it? It's like there's love loss, could be sadness, animosity, and things like that. And then as kids too, it'd be one of those things where they ask like, Mom, like, when is he coming to see me? Where you gonna take me? And she gonna run out of excuses eventually, or going to try to or tell them excuses with a little twist to it, little 2-step with a twist.
Yeah. Just a little 2-step. Yeah, but not only that, it's just like the burden of being a full-time parent. I mean, it's not a burden. Hold on. But it kind of is, because it's like,
it's out there now.
Because it's like I'm with this child all the time. Like, I wish that I could just call my son daddy and be like, can you please come and get him? Like, can he spend the weekend with you? But I can't. And I enjoy being a mother. I love my son. He's not a bad kid or anything like that. But it's just like,
get away from me.
Yeah, like, can I breathe without you breathing in the same room with me? Like, can you hold your breath when I breathe and then we can take turns? I don't know.
Don't cut the umbilical cord.
Man, but, it's just the burden of having to be that full-time parent all the time. And I know Nick Cannon is a good guy, like, he's not a bad guy or anything like that. I've watched him since I was like a little kid and stuff,
Very, very intelligent, man.
Listen to that one song he had. That was a good song. But
which one?
I can't remember, but I knew it was a song where he was talking about his mama or his granny, one of those.
Man, you a true fan, because I just do not know that.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah. It was a good song, good song.
Take your word.
But I feel like he does take care of his kids, and he does try, and he is going to make, plans on how to be better at it. Now, Future, first of all, is not trying to even have kids with these women, but he wants to have sex with them unprotected. It's just the women wants to have the kids. Future is paying for abortions.
He's what now? He's praying for abortions.
He's paying for abortions.
Paying.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
He's paying for abortions, and he's telling them, "I don't." Right. He probably praying for it too. But
I mean, that's a whole other situation with him. I mean, that's just straight sexual irresponsibility, and you know, I don't even like. Women are crazy for like. You're going to sleep if you don't sleep. If you're going to sleep with a man, sleep with him protected. I mean, he's on a road doing what he want to do anyway. So you gonna allow him to run up in you raw, and he just hopping it. I mean, like, wait till I get to the end of this show. We talk about something else.
Yeah,
it's.
I don't know how people can just have sex raw with just anything.
He is the disseminator of disease and sperm donors.
It's future. It's easy. It's money. You know, fame, power. They want that. They know.
But they don't get that. I seen a video. It was this girl that talked to this rapper, and just because he was a rapper, she gave him head in his Corvette. Right when he was done, he said, "Have a nice night." She didn't get no money. She didn't get a shout out. She didn't get nothing out of it. The only reason why she sucked that man was because he was famous. So they're not getting any money.
Well, you don't give head because you're supposed to just have sex, and so she can have a baby. That's where the money is. That's where the cash. That's where the less is. You don't get head.
Try to say sex, please, because at the end of the day, like, you're gonna have to deal with that person for the rest of your life, whether you want to or not. So it's like,
I don't think the women care as long as they're getting paid. I mean, I'm not talking about all of them. I'm just talking about the ones that just are going to get pregnant just so they can give, you know, a little extra cash in their bank account.
Yo,
I don't think they care.
He gave some babies, but I'm glad it didn't go on the. I don't know.
He gave who?
He said he gave some babies, but it just didn't go in the right place.
On the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a napkin or a hand towel or whatever's going to go, but.
Okay.
Stocks. Your neighbor's bushes and stuff like that. Okay. All right. We'll get off that.
Lord.
The curtains.
All right. Let's see. I don't know who
the curtains, though.
Yeah, they don't do it on the curtains, man.
Why the curtains?
I know. I was like, somebody said that.
There are curtains in the house. Don't do it on the curtains.
Yeah.
You know, Wendy's napkins. That's fine. All right. Let's see. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who posted this one. This is a "What would you do" story. I don't know. It was Chris or Raz. Maybe I posted.
No, I think I may have did.
I think you did. I think you did.
Was Lex.
Maybe. We're about to read it then. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. It's not the man who was unemployed.
Uh-oh.
You recognize that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's crazy.
I'll read this one. All right. This is a "What would you do?" or "What should he do?" A man has been unemployed and broke for over 5 years after graduation. Then all of a sudden he gets a job where one of his good friends is the vice president. They pay him $30,000 per month with a company house, a car, and other incentives. His woman sits him down after he has been made permanent at the job, and she tells him she had to sleep with his friend so that he could secure that job. She also explains to him that she did it out of love. What should he do? That'll be told of these details of how he got his job. What should he do? Raspberry, I'm gonna come to you first.
Okay, thank you. Because I mean, he didn't have a job for 5+ years.
Details. The devil's in the details.
So why didn't you at least go get a McDonald's job? Like, it just didn't make sense. And for two, it's like, why would she even tell him that? Like, I'm a woman. We gonna take our secrets to the grave.
Hmm.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, especially off of some stuff that I'm not happy that I've done, but I was like, I had to do it because XYZ. But at the end of the day, it's like she didn't have to do that. You know, she really should have just left the man. Like, what was she gaining from their relationship, anyways? And then for two, she's basically telling him, like, I got you on, and this is what I had to do, so you owe me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get all that back.
Well, there you go. That's why. That's
Now
why.
I'm gonna get all that back.
Yeah, okay. So I see, well, she invested in him, and so now she invested her mouthpiece, and so now he got the coin. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know, women love, building up a guy, build a guy, and then being able to say, "Hey, I did that. I made him what he was."
I won't even say women do that because men do that too.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
for
just a
sure.
human,
No.
malfunction. But women do. It is a lot of women that will stick with a man that lay good pipe, but doesn't make any money, and they'll stay with him. And then when he gets big, they'll throw that in his face. But I really think that he should leave her. Because why you didn't have sex with, like, what I say, Elon Musk?
Mm-hmm.
Because I need more than 30,000 a month. Like, what else can you do for me?
Yeah. In all honesty, I think that there's a situation where you have where some people are, you diehards, and through thick and thin, like you gonna ride it, you gonna ride it till the wheels fall off.
Mm.
Some people are like that. I know I've invested, not in the same situation, but I've invested time in relationships where the growth was dead. There was nothing else I could do or nothing else she could do to um, kind of extend the relationship. And it was toxic. I spent too much time. Now, no matter how many times I may have tried to get something done to do something, that's just going to talk about this situation. And this is kind of what I wrote from this. I said, she done this out of love. I said, it's more than that, in my opinion. I said, that is a hell of a sacrifice for his ego, his pride, self-esteem, and financial security, while her character in their relationship is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And it may never be the same after that when he finds this out. Like,
You won't.
damn. I mean, the whole outlook has changed. Although he might have this nice job or whatever this may be, he making money now and get back on his feet, and be able to make these plans. And who's to say, even after she done this, right?
Mm-hmm.
He may, they may fire him or me tomorrow. Now where you at? You see what I'm saying? They may
Yeah,
get
she
rid of him.
stopped sleeping with the man. Yeah.
So it was it was either way, it was a double-edged sword as far as that sacrifice was concerned. And I said as well, I was like, should I be grateful and say, thanks, babe, I appreciate you. Like, yo, I mean, if he was an optimist, he'd be like, damn, like, she really went through a lot to sacrifice for me to get me back on my feet, get myself back together. But then again, I know 99.99999% of a chance that he's probably gonna leave her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, talk about indecent proposal and securing the bag. Yo, she did that. Indecent proposal. Yo, she secured that bag for sure.
Right.
But I definitely would not be his friend anymore. Like,
Yeah.
now I'm plotting because everybody in the damn world. Like, if you knew I was looking for a job and had the credentials and the skill set, the education behind it, and you all this time you sitting looking and you never done anything, but you're going to take this opportunity, bruh. I mean, he had to be already liking her on her in the
Oh
first
yeah.
place. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm definitely in my mindset. Okay, I'm going to get his ass back, one way or the other. And I said too, I'm like, oh my gosh, she must have done a hell of a job.
Man, she was in there with the 2-hand twist, okay?
Yeah.
Because bop it, you feel me? Bop it, all of that. Like,
Ba, 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 ba.
man, I'm talking about, yeah.
I'm talking about that had to be a hell of a session to secure a 30,000 a month job.
Man, 30K a month?
And I would just say too, thank you for your honesty, your transparency. But I would still just be hurt. It'd be a long time before I'll be able to get myself back together or even look at her. I don't know if I can look at her the same, but this is just some of the things that ran through my mind, right? I was saying like, did she protect herself?
Mm-hmm.
Did she do things with him to secure this bag for me that she never done for me before? Like, I need to know all the details, but I need to know. I was like, and even like, I wouldn't want nobody like, did you protect yourself? Dan, did you give him dome? Did you look his behind? Like, what did you do to? I mean, that had to be a lot going on.
Yeah, but all men ask that when they woman cheat. They're like, "Damn, did you give him head?" He's like, "What do you do when you have sex?"
Yeah, but I mean, and not all people do that. But you be like, "Yo, I'm gonna do missionary," but I don't think. Nah, I don't think it was just missionary. Nah,
man, y'all being too nice. I mean, shoot, I know I said earlier the devil's in the details, but I don't want to know the devil in this scenario.
Yeah.
Cheated. Point blank. Let's not even say, let's just scratch all the things that just happened earlier. That she slept with him to try to, get him to get this $30,000 job and incentives and stuff. Forget all that. She cheated on him. That was enough. I don't need to know what she did. I don't need to know if she jumped on his face. I don't need to know if, she got pregnant and then, almost had the baby and then changed her mind. I don't need to know all that. That one part was bad enough. But
that happened.
Let me go to this point. I hate
Will Smith. I'm already in the water.
Right.
Drown me.
I hate to bring up Will Smith and Chris Rock, but I'm sorry I'm gonna have to do it, and I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna go at with this.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna show you. It's gonna have some relevance to this. Okay.
All right.
Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Yada yada yada. Got in trouble. Media's on top of him. Mm-hmm. He went there at an award show to win something prestigious to him that he's never won before and had a lot of value to him that he's never gotten. Something that all actors strive to have. Okay. So he takes it home after this whole incident, puts it in his trophy case. Do you think he's looking at the trophy and saying, wow, I did that, and all I can remember now is because I won this because of my great acting? Or do you think now it's sour grapes because of all the negative publicity that comes with this? I think most people will say he's probably going to have some regrets for what he did because now he can't look at the trophy, the Oscar, with a clean mind. Here's where the relevancy comes with this. Mm-hmm. This young man, even though Raz pointed out a very good point, did not have a job for 5 years, makes absolutely no sense.
It's at 5+ years. Come on now.
Plus years. Okay, we won't shorten on the details when it comes to that. 5+ years makes no sense. Not unless he was 11 years old and then he was looking for a job until he was 16. That makes absolutely no sense. He's a grown-ass man. He shouldn't have a job. Okay, let's do all that. Let's just say maybe he was handicapped or something. He couldn't get a job, whatever. And then he finally got healed. Now he can go get a job. Great for him. So he does all this. He goes to the interview. He's like, baby, I did a great job at the interview. I nailed it. I told him all my credentials, all the skills I have, where I'm great at this job, and I nailed it. I got this job. I'm going to bring home $30,000. I got health benefits. We got a 401k. We're going to have all this vacation. We got dental plans and stuff. And then she comes and tells him, The only reason you got this job because I had sex with your friend that gave you the job. This is a relevancy where I'm comparing it to Will Smith's trophy. He's not going to be able to even look at the job the same, let alone his girlfriend or wife. I forget which one was it, a girlfriend or wife?
It
She was a girlfriend.
Even worse. No,
Yeah.
that's probably not.
Yeah.
If it was a wife, that'd probably be worse.
Yeah.
But still, just as bad. He cannot look at the job the same. He's not going to be able to work under these conditions. He can't look at his friend the same because we saw, remember Soul Food? You remember that scene from Soul Food where Lim got the job because Bird went out on a date with the boss and he's thinking, I'm doing this good job. The managers, the shift workers are telling me I'm doing a good job. I may get a raise. Oh, you're doing good, baby. You're doing good. Now, she didn't tell him. He had to find out the hard way. Through some not so subtle hints through his boss. And that's where he hit him. He got fired and potentially went to jail for that and some other things. But you cannot enjoy something that you had no hand in getting unless it's a Christmas present. This was not a Christmas present. Unless you want a birthday gift present for the friend.
It was a gift.
Yeah, the friend got the gift. That's not what her boyfriend wanted to give away.
They both got gifts.
You're right. So I don't even think he'll want to stay much longer because how can you work with your so-called friend and then come home knowing that your so-called friend is over you and gave you that job because your girlfriend did some favors for him?
Because you got $30,000 in your bank account now.
Mm-hmm.
Money can't fix everything, just like we were talking about with Nick Cannon. Money can't fix everything.
It can't fix everything, but he has money now, so he plotting. He gonna plot. He gonna be like, oh, okay, let me $30,000 a month. Okay.
You know who else had money? OJ had money. You see what happened? He bought a flight right out of California and went straight to Chicago, tried to make sure people didn't follow back or trace back the clues that he actually killed his wife, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right. But there's no value in him having a job. He loves the job because he felt like he deserved to get it because he put in the work and time to get it. I don't know if he did anything in 5 years to get certification that made it worthwhile. He thought this is what helped him get the job. I wonder what it was when they went and tried to do his job history. But this is going to completely destroy his ego like a Fabergé egg being hit up against the hardest of hammers and lows.
Well, why not having a job didn't destroy his ego or his pride? You know, because
you got to ask his mother and father, I guess.
Because at the end of the day, like if I had a man and I'm working like I'm working now and I had a man and I come home and he's laying on my couch, I'm mad as hell. Because why are you relaxing right now? Like you can be outside doing something, you know, it's money out here to be made. I don't care. Like people are so prideful that, oh, I don't want to work at McDonald's or whatever because of XYZ, but
ego.
It's money.
And you know, I feel like, you know, even if he had a part-time or he had a little side hustle, as long as he was doing something to you know, I've worked in different situations where somebody didn't have the best job in the world, but you know, it was a pretty solid person. You know what I'm saying? And it makes a difference, though. I mean, and one of the things that I have learned personally, you know, going along is that you have to find like, just as an example, there's men who go on the road to drive trucks. They may be in the military. They're doing whatever they can to make sure that they secure the bag and take care of their families. But the problem with being on the road and doing all these different things is that your woman, or if she's on the road, your man is at home by himself. They're going to get lonely. They're going to get different, you know, things happen. So whether that be cheating or whatever that is the person is doing until you get back, it's awful, but it's just the reality of life of things that's going to happen. And I'm 50-50 on this whole situation because she was like, look, tired of this ish. You know, I mean, yeah, you're a good guy. I'm a good person, but hey, look, I'm gonna do something different. You got this job. We're together. It's like, shut the hell up.
Yeah, basically.
Hold up. Go get yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself together, and move on. We're gonna be together. Yeah, I did it. And what?
So you staying, Chris?
Hmm?
You staying?
Bruh, I couldn't. But the thing is, I just got this job. Yeah, I could do a lot with $30,000 a month. I could move out quickly. We stand in this place, this apartment, or whatever that is that we doing, condo, whatever like that. I go ahead and finish paying whatever that is for the remainder of the year. So I ain't trying to catch no cases. Bury yourself early, and I'll be out of there. But one thing I tell you that I was thinking about, I would definitely, with the information that I got, I would definitely. This is vengeance right here. I would file a loss, file a complaint, right, at the job first, and see if they settle out. I wonder how much money they're going to settle out, and also get rid of him too because of a moral or ethic clause. There's a certain, I would go at it in that approach, or file a lawsuit and see what against him and the company, and see where that goes.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how that would work, though. Ethically, I wonder how that would work to be able to get rid of somebody like that. I mean, I guess it can happen. I don't know.
I mean, if it brings bad publicity to the company, they will get rid of whoever,
They will, for
But
sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, she really has power over him, because if he act up, she can be like, "Oh, I'm gonna just tell your boss to fire you."
So
There's
once
another
you
reason.
go in that direction, you got to go. You got to go all in. That's why I said, hey,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna need neither one of y'all to file that lawsuit.
Yeah. Have your proof and stuff. Go on the phone, get the messages, all of that.
And then too, if they're the only three people that know and nobody else knows, that's also pressure that he could use against, her family, his family, their mutual friends. It's a lot that can come out of that whole situation if you look at it. If he decide the guy ain't staying, they like, "Oh my God, y'all been together forever. She's done this for you or done that for you, blah, 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 blah." It's gonna kill all that, like.
No, because it's her family member, so they're gonna support her decision. They're like, "Yeah, girl, he had no job for years. I would have been slept with his friend, But she should have just left. Like, if he's not doing the things that he's supposed to do, like, you need money to take care of yourself, and we're together, so we're trying to take care of each other, but you're not even trying. I would have been left. So.
And I looked at it one other way too. Now I was like, what if the shoe was on the other foot? What if her best friend was the vice president, and she had a good education, but just had mediocre job or no job at all for 5 years, and he took care of her and was like, "Look, I need you to step up. I need you to do X, Y, and Z." And the opportunity came. He took it. How would she feel? How would how would that play out? Would she stay with him? Would she forgive him?
She would have probably left him and left the job. I mean, women are different. We're emotional. So you mess with our emotions, we think, well, I think logically. So, it took some time to get here, but you cheat on me just to give me a good job. Like, no, I'm gonna leave the job and find another job.
Do you think that's selfish though? I mean, she's saying she did it for him, but did she really do it for him?
Right, that is selfish, and that's playing on somebody's, like, it's playing with somebody's feelings. Like, you're not gonna blame me for your actions. So you did it because you wanted to do it, and it ain't no telling how many times you did it. So don't use me as a reason. Oh, because he needs to make money and this is good money, he's not making anything or doing anything with his life. And so I'm finna help him. So let me volunteer my vagina and other parts of my body to just accommodate, my man and help my man out. It's for a good cause. No.
Yo, he gonna be walking. He walking to the job. Duke, Spring gonna be walking by him every day, like, That's I see why you with her.
He gonna ask him how she cooked. What she cooked tonight? Cause she be cooking.
Mm-hmm. Shoo-wee.
Get off at 8. You got to work overtime tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to stay late
first.
Yeah.
They're doing like Trey Songz, like, where you going? Nah, round 2, round 3, baby.
Who Trey Songz? I don't even want to get on Trey Songz because Trey Songz.
Yeah, that's another.
Yeah, Trey Songz. Me and Trey Songz beefing, man. Like, dude, tripping.
Trey Songz might be the next R. Kelly, or he already did one.
Well, R. Kelly he did a lot of things, but yeah, Trey Songz.
It's for $30,000 a month. I was like, yeah, man. Look, he was like, it's not going to be quick. Remember in what's that movie?
300.
Yeah.
I knew that's what you were talking about. This won't be short. This won't be. This
won't be quick.
And that was probably in some BDSM type stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. Man. Let's move on. Let's go to the main subject for today. Okay. We're going to talk about Supreme Court as allegedly had a draft released where they believe that the Supreme Court ruling of Roe versus Wade may be turned over.
Wow.
And it really, they don't think the decision will be made until probably midsummer, maybe July, possibly. So it's kind of early. So people they still have time to change their mind and argue about whether they should keep it, the ruling that they had back, I think it was 1973, or let it go to the states, which that raises a interesting dynamic of what would happen if they actually got overturned. So I want to talk about, in future terms, what that would look like if it actually does get overturned. And I know we usually go by, even the title of the show is, kind of going, are you pro-life or pro-choice? And I don't think I think the majority of people are not that on the point of being that rigid, absolute of one side or the other. I think there is variance to what people will put up with when it comes to abortion, being pro-life, pro-choice. And I will explain in a little bit. But okay, again, let's just say it does get overturned, right? It's not banning abortion countrywide. It's making the states make the decision on it, which, it could be dangerous in itself. They believe up to at least 26 states will end up banning abortion, right? There's been evidence that's been shown that even when abortion was illegal, years ago, that people will still go find a way to still get it done, albeit in unsafe manners. In the street corner or whatever, or someone who claims to be a doctor, they'll go get it done. Same people that go do BBLs and stuff like that will probably be the same people.
Like in Four Color Girls, when the girl went to the hood.
It's funny that I went straight to that. Macy Gray, that's what I was thinking of, top of my head. So, yeah.
Macy Gray.
Don't do her like it.
That's what sounds. That was a great interpretation of that. So I want to ask y'all and just get your opinions on, what do you think will happen with that? And do you think you're absolutely, Well, first, I'm gonna ask you: are either one of you either pro-choice or pro-life? And do you think you're an absolute pro-choicer or pro-lifer? Let me ask that first. Like, there's no scenario where you think it's too far. There's late-term abortion. There's abortion after the first trimester. There's abortion after the heartbeat develops. Some people don't believe it. Once there's conception, then there's no abortion at all. I think that should be discussed a little bit more than what people are just saying, well, I'm against abortion. I don't think everybody's like that. I think there are some, boundaries that people are willing to say, okay, that's a little bit too far. Now it's a life. I'm not doing that. At 8 months, come on, it's too far. What is your opinions on that? And Raz, I'll go with you first on that. Is there a limit to what you think, how far that should go? Because I just don't think most people, and it's been polls that been done on it, I don't think most people are just absolute pro-lifers and just absolute pro-choice.
Right. I would say there is a war on women, because why is it that everybody wants control over a woman's body, but they do not want to take care of the kids when they get here? So it's ridiculous. I am pro-choice. And at the end of the day, I may have my own opinions about if a woman is 8 months pregnant and she goes to get an abortion. I wouldn't do it, but again, that's on her. That's her body. That's her choice. And for someone else to say, oh, you can't get an abortion because this is a life, but I'm not going to help you and I don't know what you're going to go through, it's not fair at all. And they're not making men be there and be the fathers in their children's lives after the fact. So again, I mean, it's a woman's body, and it's been situations where people are, they know the relationship isn't going to last, or they're going to be, a single parent, and they don't want to do that, or they was raped,
Right.
So it's like now, I'm in Tennessee, so the law in Tennessee is after that there's a heartbeat detected, you can't get an abortion.
So, like 8-10 weeks, I think.
It's about like a good 10 to like 11 to 12 weeks, something like that, depending on whatever. But again, you have to get into a facility. Places is packed. You're going to have to go to the outskirts and stuff like that to get help. And then it's just not fair. It's just not fair at all. And if a woman wants to do that to her body, so be it. Everybody keeps saying, oh, she should have used protections. Condoms break. Birth control is not really effective. I got pregnant with my son on birth control. I had the marina inside me, and that did not work. And
That's some strong swimmers.
Yeah, he was in there knocking me around. Okay, but so sorry, y'all. But yeah, and I thought about aborting my son, and I was at the clinic, but I was like, you know what? Let me just choose for myself and have a choice. And I had my son. But any other kid after that, if I'm not established with the father and we're not, and I feel as though this is not going to be long term, and that is a choice for me, I'm going to take that choice. Regardless, it's my body. I'm here taking care of the child.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's some very good points. Me personally, I'm not absolute on pro-life or pro-choice, but I really feel that it's the woman's decision. I feel like it really should be up to the partner and the woman, but at the end of the day, because she's the one carrying the child, believe that it should be her decision on whether she's going to keep it or not. At the end of the day, so it is her body. Although it takes two to tangle, but it also brings up a point too that it's your human right to make that choice. Like I said, health. Somebody might have health issues and can't maintain the baby. I know chronic diabetics. If they usually have children, it's only a amount of time before the mother is going to be out of here because it's just something that naturally happens. You know, after she has her child or children. Um, um, and regardless of any other circumstance, I feel like just my experience, something I found out, a child, whether they're in the stage where they're in the cellular growth and they're forming, um, to when the fetus is visible in the stomach, right? It's still a functioning individual, and it's alive. It's a life, regardless of its size and its ability to um, move or communicate. In the womb is of course they can't tell you, but um, I just find it really hard, to outside of certain circumstances, if you were irresponsible, you was irresponsible. Take care of it. Bring it to term. Live with it. But it just goes back to the part of being responsible. Um, when you're having sex, but also I don't feel that the state or the federal should have anything to do with any of that at all. It's like they've been putting their hands in their business in too many things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they want control over any and everything. Um, and I wonder if is it a power play to say that, you're not going to be able to have it, not have abortions after a certain amount of time or whatever that may be. Um, because there's some fathers be like, yo, I want to have a child. And there's some that be like, man, bump that. We ain't doing this. But I don't think people should go to jail.
Right. That's something that could happen in the future.
That's something that could happen for sure.
For murder.
It could be a situation where, and what if somebody's family history, you find out later that, they have a lot of diseases and things, or most of their children on that side of the family coming out with Down syndrome or things like that. It takes a hell of a lot of money and time to raise and to deal with that, finding proper care, schooling, and different things like that. So it's a lot of, they need to sit down and think about all this stuff carefully.
You know what I think we would do? And I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this. If there is any pro to it, and it's kind of a tangent, just a little bit. You know how we really only care about the presidential election, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people, they only vote one time, and then they're done after 4 years, and then they wait to see what the next guy says about what he can do for the country. In this case, where it's up to the state to decide what happens, like abortion, I think people will be more in tune to what their local governor, what their issues or what the things they're going to try to do for their state. I think people will be more in tune to it, probably more so than ever.
Yeah.
Because now you really have to care. The president can't do anything about it. It's not that he was doing anything about this particular case before, but I think it does bring more awareness to people who are going to actually start caring more who they vote for. Congress, governor, whatever, Senate, whatever. People are going to care more about that, probably more so than ever. Again, I said that was a little bit of a side tangent. But
that's a good point.
As far as what, I think about this is, again, I don't think I could say I'm an absolute pro-lifer or pro-choice, and this was why I brought up, late-term pregnancy. It's like, to me, that feels like that's just too far. Of course, we know it's a life by then. Yes, it's her body, but where does the agency of it's a life that I'm willing to get rid of versus, I know once it's born, it's a life. Then it's a life in both cases. He can't defend himself once he's born either. If he
Right.
was to be left by his own defense, he would die. Same way, him being inside his mother, if she couldn't take care of him, of course, he would die as well. When does that not matter anymore? Let's say she's 7 months and, of course, she got full heartbeats, kicking and, scratching, hitting, bumps on the stomach or whatever, taking her nutrients every day, which is almost the same thing as just a newborn baby. They can't defend for themselves. She's got to feed them. She's got to be the person in charge of keeping them alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a life to me in both instances. And I know it's not inside of her body. I'm just saying for women who are not at risk in the pregnancy, they're just not ready for one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still a life or does it not matter? I'm just going straight late term pregnancies, like 7, 9 months or whatever. Not 9 months so much, but does it not count? It's the same either way. I know, like I said, it's inside of her and one's a newborn baby, fresh out the womb, whatever. But to me, it's still dependent on you either way. Why does it not matter at 7 months and it matters at 1 month?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just say, honestly, because I'm the life force, if I was to take that fetus or whatever out of me at too soon, it wouldn't even survive. It would die. So I'm the life force feeding that. So at the end of the day, like me, honestly, if the baby's in the womb, like you can call it, like you can say that it's alive or it's a human being, but it's still, I'm the life force. I'm feeding into it, So if I completely detach from it, it's not even going to exist anymore. So it's not even relevant at this point. And it's my choice to not even feed this little vessel that I'm making inside of me. So that's why I say I'm pro-choice. Like, I don't really care if what someone else does with their body. Now if you have the kid and you abusing the kid after you have it, okay, I care then, but
it's still dependent on you though.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it will die.
That's a human because it's breathing air, and I no longer have to even make its heart. I don't have to make its lungs. I don't have to make its brain. I don't have to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't even have to be a mother anymore because I could just get my baby up,
Right.
But at the end of the day, this child is inside of me, and if it was not for me, it wouldn't even live, So I should be able to determine if I want to go full term or not, or I should be able to determine, hey, I wake up one day at 7 months and I'd be like, I don't even want to do this. I thought I was going to do it because I was trying to be a good person. Well, I'm not saying you're not a good person, but I was trying to be responsible. And I weighed the pros and cons, but I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Again, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, why can't you do that anyway, though? Just be like, okay, I'll have the baby and then just give it up.
But it's a difference.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Well, I'm not a woman, but I was sitting up here thinking it is a difference, like, because once you carry something to term and you push it out of your body, or they take it out of your body to come to term, like, and you see it, that's a whole different, not unless you have some type of, like, you really don't want to have no connection to this at all. Like, I just feel it's a difference. I can't explain now what I'm trying to say, but
no, it's a difference.
Okay. Can you help us out with understanding what I'm trying to say?
It's just that connection. It's an instant connection when your baby comes out. When you hear the baby crying, when you done made that final push, because it's a battle. Women die every day in childbirth. Okay, so let's think about that too. They're talking about, oh, you got to go full term. Okay, what if I hemorrhaged when I had this baby and now I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to take this baby life, but what if I die in the process? So my life isn't valuable either.
Yeah, that's
You
crazy.
know? So the baby need to be charged with murder for killing me.
Really?
I'm just
It is
I mean,
what it
that's
is.
stupid, but I mean, of course they're not gonna do that. But I'm just saying, I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So like, it's an instant connection when they put the baby. That's why they put the baby skin to skin, because you are connecting. You were already connected internally. Now you are connected externally, and it's a beautiful thing. And some people are like that. Some people just be like, no, 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 and they don't even want to see their baby, hear the baby, none of that. Because of whatever they're going through, but eventually they get out of it, or they give it up for adoption,
Yeah.
And this is one thing I want to share with y'all really quick, right?
Go ahead.
Babies internally, not only for the food and the nurturing of the child, but I experienced something, and it's in my book, whereas though I would have these nightmares about when my mother was physically abused as domestic violence with my biological father, right? But being in her womb, there was still the emotion being transferred to me, the sounds and everything, and I didn't know where this came from. And why, when I came out and people spoke so loudly, or they would laugh loud or do something, or why we flinch or whatever like that. That's something that I experienced in the womb. I'm still receiving information, processing information. So if you bring in a child into this world that's already being traumatized in a negative situation, that child is going to be something else. Just like if a drug addict, and you bring in a child in the world who's already been exposed to drugs and withdrawal and these things at an early age, it's not going to be the outcome of this person being a good person or being a highly functional person in society. Their percentages is going way low. You know what I mean? And so, again, this is something else that there should be a choice being made. And I suffered trying to figure out what the hell was going on and why I keep having these nightmares. But what it come out to be is that, again, they're alive. The fetus is alive. You're able to take information and process information while you're inside the womb. So even coming out, you're still adapting to this world and different things like that. But all that to say is that, it has to be in a good environment. You got to be in a good environment, or your child is going to come out. They're going to come out shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear that argument, and I totally understand. I've heard horror stories of kids being born and then given up for adoption, and then they go through the adoption agencies and they never find good parents. They find abusive adoptive parents and stuff, and so they live a horrible life. Totally understand that. So that is a relevant argument to bring forth to the table with this. Why just because you have the baby doesn't mean it's going to live a fruitful life.
Right.
And there's the other side of that, right? Because if some people had went ahead and had the abortion, then some people wouldn't be born. Hell, any one of you have an iPhone?
I do not, but I have an iPad.
Team Android.
Well, you're fully smart, Raz, and
I'm green.
halfway there. You just get rid of iPad. But Steve Jobs' mother almost had an abortion with him, and the man ended up being a billionaire and he changed a lot of people's lives that would have never happened if his mother had an abortion. Nick Cannon, the guy we were just talking about, a guy who wants to populate the earth like he's Adam with Eve and a bunch of Eves.
A bunch of Eves.
Right. Oprah. Jack Nicholson. I got a lot of Cher, Eartha Kitt. Uh, the Game. I don't know if anyone cares or not, but The Game, rapper, he would have been gone.
Oh, I love The Game.
Pope John Paul. I don't know if anybody follows him or not. Tim Tebow, who's done really nothing, but is famous for, his college career and a little bit of his NFL career. Those people would have never came about if, their mother said, okay, let me just end it early and in the first trimester, and then I'll just go on and live my life. I understand both arguments. I really do. So I don't want to sit there and say, that's why I say I'm not far right this way and then far right left this way. I can understand both arguments.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to throw everything out there and just see where we're all at. To me, once a life becomes a life, and I say a life becomes a life once it's a heartbeat, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I think that's in between 8 to 10 weeks, even though I have seen studies where they're able to do like ultrasounds and able to find heartbeats within 5.5 to 6 weeks. So it could be early as that. And then, some people say once a child is able to feel stimuli, pain or response to, being touched or whatever, that, now it's a life. Or once he has lungs, then that becomes a life. So, it's a differing thing, and then there's the argument too, that even another form of abortion is even having birth control.
Mm-hmm.
There's that argument there too. I hear that. Or even condoms is a form of birth control. I can see that. I can see somebody saying that. I think once conception happens, that's the form of life, but, people can argue back and forth with that, and I'm willing to hear it. I understand if somebody says heartbeat or conception, so I get that. To me, it's way too far. Once it has all those faculties of a heartbeat, lungs, feel pain. I'll say this, okay? And you were saying earlier, Raz, about the baby is dependent on you to continue to, develop and grow. Mm-hmm. And, if she's not able to do that, then the baby dies. What about those preemie babies that they have to come out early?
Those are machines that's keeping them alive.
Right.
So if we cut off the machines, if we cut off all of that, if they are born, like back in the day, if a preemie came out, they would have just died.
Right. I mean, if we cut out everything and put it in a vacuum and just cut out the way people do abortions now, which most abortions now are done by appeal.
By appeal, yeah. Right. That's the most safest way.
Right.
Yeah, they made a law down here, I think 2 weeks ago, where you can't even order the abortion pill from a doctor. Like, you call the doctor and they say, hey, I want the pill, and they could send it to your house. Mm-hmm. You can't even do that anymore.
What state is that? I think I read about that, but what's
so it's like that was the most convenient thing to do. You take a pill and you don't have to go through the process of like a surgery and then potentially, your uterus getting infected, and then that's resulting in you not even able to have kids down the line.
Yeah. Wow.
So I just feel as though they just want us to be so dramatic, and they want us to be traumatized to the point where they're forcing us to have kids. So we're going to send y'all. So the only way that you can have an abortion, because they're going to get rid of those pills eventually if we allow them to keep doing this to us. Right. So that right there, that procedure is drastic.
Yeah.
Very drastic. And so it is very painful. And people just don't understand that is traumatizing.
For sure.
So they want to traumatize us, basically. And I don't know. It's really pissing me off. Because it's like, this is my body. And most of the people that's making laws are men. Now, if women were making those laws, I would look at them like, come on, man. But I could.
Made the Texas law, though. That was a woman.
There was a woman in Texas?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to look at her sideways. But, most of it is men making these laws. Mm-hmm. And they don't even know how it even feels being pregnant or being a woman, period. Mm-hmm. Our period comes once a month, but it feels like we're on our period for 3 weeks out of the month. Mm-hmm. So it's like people don't understand what it is to be a woman.
I mean,
so
I hear you on that, but there's a lot of women who are just pro-life too, though. They're on that side too, that go through all of that. So it's not like just predominantly men just thinking like that on the pro-life side of things. You know, I get what you're saying. Yeah, we guys, we
I
can't.
mean, it's a mixture for sure, but it's mostly men making these laws.
Right. Oh
it's
yeah, on that. Yeah. I'm just talking about who just think about not making the laws, who just believe in pro-life.
Yeah.
It's like somewhat even mixture with that, I would say. And then you break it down to Republicans who mostly believe in pro-life, and Democrats are mostly pro-choice.
Yeah.
And I think if they actually sat down and talked to a significant other, or girlfriend, fiance, or wife, or whoever that is, because again, how will we approach it? The discussion has to again to be made. Even that a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men are not ready for the financial, the mental, the emotional. They're not ready for the physical, and the relationship impact that bringing an unwanted child into this world, and the impact that, again, if you have the child, you're not ready for it. The impact that it's going to have on, let's say, a teenager, for instance, or a sickly person. They're going to have. I mean, what about your parents, a grandmother, somebody's guardian? There's an impact on them, because even if you can't make the decision yourself, somebody else has to make that decision. So whether you want to keep it or not, they might say, look, both of y'all too young to have this. Y'all not in the right position. You're in college, you're in school. You don't have a job, you don't have any experience. You need to live your life. So it's a lot of aspects that they need to really start thinking about, as opposed to just because somebody feels like somebody should or should not do this. It's a lot. But I think if they talk to a lot more women or hear what they're saying, there could be a compromise made, or something that would be equal on both sides. Be like, okay, well, you could do this up to this point, and we're going to call it a day on that and be done with it. But I think they need to, like she said, it's a lot of men making these decisions, men who really don't care. They don't want children. They just thinking about money, like you see, paper. They have no connection. They send their children off to boarding schools in these places, and they just have money. So again, they're producing these narcissistic, psychotic kids. And I've met a few of them in my life, and them kids are at these places. I mean, some horrible things happen in these places to these kids. They doing to each other, or the staff, faculty, and staff, and they got to live with that for the rest of their lives. So it's just a lot with it. It's a lot with this stuff.
Yeah. And not only that, when they're in foster care, as soon as they turn 18, they kick them out on the streets.
Right.
They don't even try to help them find a job or save a living.
No transition.
Right. And they are in a house full of kids, and they don't have any structure, and no one is teaching them how to live their life when they get out of here. So when they get grown, they don't even know what to do. So it's like, that's just a disservice to children, period. And just piggybacking off of what you said.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. But piggybacking off what Chris said, when people are on drugs and stuff and they have kids, like, that person is already prone to addiction. They're going to be addicted to something. Like my little brother, he's adopted. My mom adopted him when he was 3 days old, and she knew his mom. She was on the street. She has about 15 kids, and she was a drug addict and stuff like that. And my mom got tired of seeing this lady pregnant, and she was like, I know they're taking your kids.
Right.
This one right here, I want, because she always wanted a boy. My brother is 17 years old, and he has renal kidney disease because of all the drugs she was on. He's had kidney disease since he was 4. He was diagnosed at 4.
Wow.
And he's never ever had a normal life. He's on dialysis right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a disservice to children. And my thing is, if you want to get an abortion, go do it. If you don't, then don't. You know, I just don't see why is that a big issue?
Well, because life would be destroyed. Life would never mature into anything. For the people I just named earlier, or your brother, you wouldn't see these people because it wouldn't exist. I mean, I get it. Like I said, I'm not talking about the extreme cases like, rape, of course, disease, risks that she could die during pregnancy. I'm not talking about those. I'm just mostly talking about the ones that's like, and maybe even financial burden. We can put that to the thing. It's like, I just don't want one, and I would hate either one of those where it's like, I don't want that either, but I understand. But I just don't want one. Right now, I'm like, there are other options. Like I said, adoption can be a good thing too, because there have been good people who have gotten adopted, gone to good families, and sometimes it goes bad. But that's life, though, I mean, because we all have gotten bad, have gone down bad roads, and we've been raised good, or raised to go a certain way, but it didn't happen that way once we got grown or teenagers. Life sometimes just fucks you. You just don't get shit the way you want sometimes.
This is true.
Some people plan their pregnancy and the child is not treated right. Or they plan their pregnancy and the child, I don't know, catches a disease or something, gets scoliosis, and just life just, happens. So I just to kind of say, just because they would have the child and maybe they can't funding or whatever, if they were to get adopted, we don't know which way that could go. It could go a good way, could go a bad way, but that's the the mystery of life. Who do you think? Let me hear you. What age range do you think has the most abortions as far as women is concerned? Like a 10-year age range. Let's go with that. I'll make that distinction.
I mean, I'm 28, so I would just say around like 25 to 35.
It's kind of close.
Close.
Well, I got between the 20s and 30s. Like between 20 and 30. That's the most prolific age range that women usually have.
Okay.
Abortion.
Wow. Because I would just think that I was in my mind. I mean, and again, this is I lived in certain areas of my life. I would say ages 13 to 24.
They're up there, but they're not as high as between,
because they're so young.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe they're still under the support of their parents. Maybe that's why. And 20 and 30s are kind of out on their own somewhat. Nearly, there's another statistic, nearly 6 in 10 women who do have abortions are already mothers.
Yeah.
Right? That makes sense. 9 in 10 out of 10 abortions are done within the first trimester. And
it makes sense. Yeah. You get attached, you start getting attached and looking at cute baby clothes and stuff like that.
Painting the room, cribs.
With that being said, then what would be a reason to wait? If you are already in the first trimester, while in health not being an issue, and this is why I was talking about the late term thing, is like, if you think you're going to be able to handle the child the first month or 3 months or whatever, first trimester, I would think you would be okay after that to still have the child. And if you change your mind, give it to a willing adult, a willing parent.
It's because the stages in the beginning, it's not that bad,
but it's not even fully formed yet. That's what I'm like. I would think it'd be worse by the second and third trimester, like you really would get attached, and it's got a heartbeat, it's got lungs, it's got brain activity, it's kicking.
I mean, and who says that they're not attached? You know, it's just for whatever reason, I'm a true self, you know, and I want what's best for myself. And if I know I can't give this child what I would want to give my child when I'm ready, then, you know, I'm just going to make the choice for both of us and just end it, you know?
Ugh, that just sounds bad though. The way
I know.
I mean, but it's reality. It's the truth.
But it's just right. It's the truth. But the thing is, okay, you said that's a life, right? So if you care about life, right, and I'm not saying you don't care about life or you don't do this. You see a homeless person on the street, welcome him into your home. How about that? You know, let him drive your car.
He's not defenseless though, but he can make his own decisions.
But he's struggling.
Yeah.
And they are defenseless when they're on the street. You can be asleep. I done seen them at nighttime. They sleep on the street and somebody can come up and beat their ass.
That's a vast difference though between a baby who doesn't even know where he's at versus a homeless person.
It's a stretch, but at the end of the day, I wasn't comparing it to a baby, but I was just saying the fact that you said that that's a life. You care about life.
Like
people only care about the life. I'm sorry, what you say?
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead. Say, I hear you. Yeah, say that.
No, people only care about the life when it's not when it's forming, but when it's here, they don't care about it no more. Like I picture this in my head. People are, yay, don't kill the baby, don't kill the baby. Oh, the baby's born. All right, we going home, y'all. Let's go home.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That's a very good point. Yeah. I've heard that said a lot where, you know, people care too much about a baby that they never even seen before, is forming, whatever, but once it's on earth, it's like, okay, now you're on your own. So it does sound kind of hypocritical. So that's a good point. I'll give you that.
And then on the flip side of that, right? You know, you talk about people talking about that, but they're also racist. So you see what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
And so that's the other aspect I look at it. Like, you know, and I can see where they may be pro or choice of what. A lot of these facilities and things are in near or have access to poor neighborhoods and things of that nature. A lot of these. So other facilities or the better facilities are, of course, for the other people. The treatment, the medical aspect of it, to help her get over and get through the whole situation is a little bit different. So it's a different ways that we can, you know, you can look at all this, because there's so many, you know, there's so many different wars out here, bro. Like, and sister, you know, you got the silent wars, there's ethnicity wars, gender, there's a financial war going on, a religious war. It's all these things going on right now. And it's like, every time you think you back on track with doing something good, that here they are with something else they throwing out there. Like, why? I mean, why leak this now? Yeah, like they said, the information got leaked out. I'm glad it came out, but now it's, you know, it's creating a whole different level of intensity and anxiety and worry, you know, just after COVID. So now other people got something else to look at and worry about. And so, you know, it's just crazy to me how all these things are coming out. And again, I would just feel that they need to just speak to the women and find out a balance where everybody get what they want and call it a day.
Yeah. Like if a woman is going to a clinic like five, 6, 7 times and they're like, she's a regular there, then like, okay, what are you doing? You know, you're being irresponsible. You know, looking at you sideways, like you just really are irresponsible and you really just want to kill something. I can understand that. And then go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, but 2, I think that they want us to have these babies because in the umbilical cord, there's stem cells. And you can do a lot with that. I have to request, as a woman, we have to request anything that comes out of us at the hospital. Like they will take all of that away. I have to sign a form saying I want to keep my umbilical cord or I want to keep the placenta attached to my baby. Because there's so many nutrients in that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're after. That's what they want.
And again, that's another aspect of go ahead and have the abortion. But a lot of it, they don't want to tell you that. There's so many things going on with these umbilical cords of these young fetuses that they have, or is coming out in a certain stage. They take that and use that for research, development, and healing, stem cells. Matter of fact, over in India at some point in time, Cambodia, they used to take a portion of that and put it in this vial, and they would have the vial attached to you. Where the woman or the guy would have the vial attached to them, and if they ever got sick or something like that, they would go in and take some of that out and put that into their bodies, and somehow it was some a miraculous healing going on. So it's a lot going on with this stuff that regular, normal, everyday people don't look into and don't know. But it's another reason why all this is coming out and taking place right now.
Okay. I'm going to ask y'all this question then. I want you, I'm going to throw some stats out there, and I want y'all to tell me how this makes you feel. Okay. We all love the Black community, right? We all for the Black community.
Of course.
But for sure.
All right. This is something I read today about abortion for Black people. Now, we're approximately 15% of the U.S. population, right?
Mm-hmm.
40% of all Black babies are aborted. It's a stat I read. We could one day, through regression analysis, be only 4% of the population in 30 years. The number one killers, if you agree with all three, they say are heart disease, cancer, and abortion, number 3. What do you think about those stats there?
Red, I personally it's a shame, but I feel like it's the truth. It's a fact. But again, not all of us, but a lot of times it's like, if you make a certain amount of money and you have to take care of your household, there's only a certain amount of food that we have access to or want to have or get. The way society has been built, everything is quick, fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have enough time to, to cook every day, cook every night, and kids they running here doing this, and it's just so much going on that there's fast food. There's a lot of different stuff that people have. The choices that we make are leading up to that, but not unless we grow our own food and go back to the principles of ancient times, it's going to continue to be like it's going to be a hurt piece. And music is raising music and television is raising most of these individuals.
Electronics and stuff.
Electronics are raising our children. So what they see, they mimic. So it's just a process that it depends on what we need to be watching and doing the right things moving forward, or teaching our children to, hey, it's your choice. But I'm telling you, like now, we need to start doing this. You need to watch your health. This is healthy. This is not healthy. But the abortion aspect, again, it comes from irresponsibility. Minds mentally, emotionally not developed enough to understand really what they're getting into until it happens. And like I say, it's no fault of nobody's, but except for, people curious. They having sex, they doing things. It's a natural calling. It's that yearning. And if we don't talk to them and teach them, of course, it's population is going to be, and I mean, it's already done. It's population control.
Of course.
So it's awful, but it's a reality of life. So people have to get back to trying to teach your kids about having structure, that even if you do decide to have sex, like my parents taught me, you got condoms or whatever like that. They didn't show me how to put them on, but we got classes, different things that you could take or send them to learn how to do X, Y, and Z. But we have to be more careful and more diligent in, making the right decisions, doing the right educational aspects of it. I know people college is not for everybody, even finishing high school is not for everybody, but at least get something to try to take some certified classes or something like that you can do to go out here and make money and do what you want to do and be happy. But it's a lot of factors in this. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I will say, though, that within this community, healthcare is not within all of our reach. So that plays a part into it. The education about what can happen if you make mistakes, like having sex unprotected, that's not in our community. The reach of being able to have everybody on birth control, that's not within our community. The majority factor wise, that's not in a community. So though we also have a high pregnancy rate within us, but we also we're high in poverty too, more than any other racial demographic. And because of, the reasons that they don't think they can support the child if they were to have it. So there goes the elevated numbers with abortion.
Yep.
So there's a lot of factors I do think that play a part in why those numbers are so high. Still, I think there is a soulful impact on that, because I don't, and again, these are just my beliefs, and y'all can be against it, that's fine. Where
we respect it.
They just we don't value life as much. We're easier to go to get an abortion than maybe anyone else. That's why our abortion rates are higher than anyone else. And we've been here for hundreds of years, and there's other reasons too, but our population hasn't grown. It's been pretty stagnant. As much as we want to say there's, we have a lot of kids out here, to single parent households and stuff like that. Why our population has not grown? It's going down. Everybody else is passing us. Especially Hispanics, they're passing us as far as the population growth is concerned. I think that I do think that's a dangerous thing to go through. They said it might drop down to 4%.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Years. That's not far away.
That's in a blink of an eye.
And that's my phone percentage.
Right, but to compare it,
my phone died like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if it's an iPhone, they'll probably hold on to that last 2% for a long time.
Oh, okay.
But to compare it to heart disease, cancer, and that's number 3, that sounds like a Holocaust almost.
Yeah.
I just can't get over again, like I said, this is why we're here, and this is why we're talking about it. Our different point of views on that. I understand, like I said, health risk, someone who's been raped, but just, someone who just doesn't want to have it. We also got to be responsible before that act happens too. I can't go and say it's not anyone's fault. It is our fault if we're out here doing it and we're not taking responsibility for it. It's our fault, but we got to teach why it's our fault, and then tell the next generation why they can't keep continuing to do this, because these are the things that can happen. You might have to make a decision where you have to have abortion, or you might have to make a decision to have the baby in poverty, or have the baby in a single parent household where they're not given the best chances to have a fruitful life. Even though, like I said, 2-parent households, there is an opportunity, there's a chance that they could have a bad life, but the probability is way lower in 2-parent households versus a 1-parent household.
Yeah.
So I think you got to start before the abortion happens, so we don't have to get to that decision, right? You don't start waiting for the test the day of the test. You got to start months before to make sure you're prepared for that, so you're not at the point where you have to drop the class, for lack of a better term.
You're right.
And they have to deal with, I wish I mean, just as a culture, we're under so much pressure and scrutiny,
Yeah.
and looked at as the bottom of the barrel. And our
Mhm.
kids coming out, they're being interjected into this. So if there was somehow we can teach them how to be more resilient, um, to have that confidence, that self-esteem, because the reason why I'm mentioning this is because peer pressure. I don't know how many times, in mentor groups or sessions or individuals where, and even I just remember back even when I was pre-high, junior high school, and in high school, the peer pressure you go under, that the kids are under, to either be active or you're treated a certain way because you never had sex before, you were a virgin, or you this and you that. It's just so much out here,
Mhm.
um, that's piled up against them, and they have to deal with this. But there's some type of way or some type of classes or some type of something that needs to be um, given prior to our kids going to school, and have that development and support as they move forward. Because a lot of stuff happens just under peer pressure because somebody wants somebody to like them or
Yeah.
love them, or vice versa. So it's a lot that's going on, um, in our communities that make it really hard for them. And one of the reasons why they might, somebody might not have a parent in the house, or they try to fill that void, or it's so much. But they need to be aware of all this stuff,
Mm.
to make them more resilient, make them better.
Better educated. Growing up, my mom never told me about a period, sex, none of that. It's just when it happened, she was like, "Oh, okay, mark the calendar. I'm gonna get you some products." That happens, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, I'm dying,"
No, you
Hmm.
know that.
No, for real,
Hurting over
like,
there.
what the hell?
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm bleeding, but I'm not dying, but and just be
Because,
more educated. But it's going to take a generation to stand up and to make change and be the change for everything to change in the future.
mm,
Mhm.
So I know with my son and his generation, like I teach him, you know, about sex. And I didn't just say, hey, let me teach him about sex. He was exposed to porn. Um, at 6 years old, he's 7 now, and so I had to explain these things to him so that he wouldn't be confused or thinking about it, or him growing up and then he is irresponsible.
Mhm.
right.
So I'm more open with my son about these things, about his body parts and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, we just need to educate each other. And I really feel as though in the Black community, we are so used to not having the Black man in the household, and as a woman, we had to pick up the pieces, even if the man is like paying child support or whatever, assisting financially. Women are scared now to even have kids because the fear of being alone and raising this kid on our own.
Yeah, I can
Mhm.
relate. Okay, I got
You
you.
know, so it's like, why would I even commit? And we're not getting married. You
Mhm.
know, there's not a lot of marriages going on. So why would I commit to have a baby with somebody if this man doesn't even want to marry me? And I'm
Facts.
not saying that marriages is, happy go lucky. You're going to be happy because you married. But the thing is, it's like that to me is a big commitment within
Mm.
itself.
It
Right.
is.
So,
Cause,
and then we can get a divorce. But a child, I can't divorce my child.
hmm
Right.
So, and as far as like the heart disease and cancer, if we took better care of ourselves, we can cure any disease. You can even cure herpes. The diseases that they say are non-curable, you can cure them with herbal medicine, taking
Mhm.
care of yourself. And I don't know, just we need to educate ourselves more, educate our children more, be more, have our children more comfortable to come to us and say, hey, what's a vagina, what's a penis, like
I'll tell you when you're 30.
And you got to develop that trust where they can come to you, because if they don't have
yeah,
it, I done seen it happen too many times, that they got the wrong information or listen to somebody that ain't really got your best interest in mind,
yeah,
and get towed down because of it. And so whether we ready to talk to them about it now or later, it has to be done for sure, because they're privy to information, not like I was when I grew up. If we wanted something, we had to go to the library, we had to do whatever, but everything's on a computer at your fingertips. And depending on who you are around or who's showing you stuff, whether it's their friends or whoever it may be, they have access to so much stuff right now that it seems like they grow up a little faster than what they need to.
Yes.
And that has to be minimized to control to some degree. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
We got a fight on our hands, but definitely, even circling back around to this case that they're supposed to be changing. I just really wish that they would do something that's manageable for both parties in this whole situation, and do it in that way. Don't just forcefully say, "Oh, this is what we're going to do," like this whole COVID situation.
But that was an issue a couple years ago. When Biden was going to try to make it mandatory that everybody had to get the shot or whatever, and then being just a statewide thing, where the states what's going to happen. He's a Biden fan, obviously. The dog that's popped up in the screen.
Like, no, he want my attention, so he tried to check me.
And it's funny how they know that, though. They know when you're not paying attention to them. They know you on that screen today.
Well, my son is outside playing with the neighbor, and I usually don't let him. I'm very controlling when it comes to my child. So, but he's outside, so my dog is like, "Why you let him go outside? Like, what you doing?"
I ain't out there. What's up?
Yeah, like, why is my human outside right now and you're not outside? So whatever. This guy.
But yeah, we're getting back to what we were saying. For that example, where they were trying to make it where, everyone was going to have to possibly take the shot, the COVID shot, the jab, and not let it be a personal decision if you want to take it, just like a personal decision to get an abortion. A person that doesn't want to get it, their argument is they think it's going to do harm to their body, and it's my body, my choice.
For sure. And Red, when people got them shots, I figured and knew that it was some type of, it was going to affect certain people. I knew that, just the ingredients that they had in it. I don't understand why they would put certain things in there like that, knowing it don't have anything to do with healing the body. So, but I was put in a position whereas I don't have enough saved in retirement right now. I have little side hustles and things that I do, but it's not enough to pay the bills and keep things going. And I have to provide healthcare as well. Medical insurance. I don't have medical insurance on my side hustles and things like that because it's too expensive. So a lot of people felt trapped. Either I couldn't afford. I needed my job. Period.
Right.
So when they were saying that it was mandatory that you had to have it or get it done by this certain day or time, or but none of that, it was tough. But I went and got it done. I had a little bit of issues, but I don't have any today, which is great. But so many people did die and have issues because of the shot. It wasn't because of COVID, and things of that nature. So it was. Like I say, it's awful to be forced to put in a situation that it should be your choice, period. And I think it's just, we the big boys on the block. So we're going to tell you what we want to do, what you going to do anyway.
Right.
So it's bad, bro. I just hope they come to some type of compromise or something.
So, you think for most instances where it's dealing with your health that the government should have no say on what you put in your body or what you do to your body.
Absolutely.
Lab, abortion, anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Because these same people are the ones on TV acting like they having it done, but it's fake, or it may be a pseudo or a placebo. You know what I'm saying?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot that they're doing. They're doing too damn much. They're doing too much.
Yeah. But what's the argument is usually, well, you're harming someone else if you don't get it, and that's kind of the same argument with abortion if you think about it.
Yeah.
Harming someone else.
Yeah.
Even though
But
it's a body's outside of you and not inside of you, but whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the main argument. Is like you're harming someone else if you end up catching this and you give it to somebody else and they could die. And
yeah, but they should not have created this. This is not natural, for one. They should have not created it. It should not have gotten out into the public, in which it did.
Yeah.
So let's talk. I mean, how come those people are not punished?
Yeah. And you can still get COVID while vaccinated.
Yeah.
We've
So
seen
it's not doing any good.
It's
Booster
just
shots, no
and
good.
you can die. You can die. I had to get the shot because of my job. They was making us get it or whatever. So I got the first round, but I didn't go for the second round because I got my card and everything, whatever. Y'all should be happy about that. But I can tell you that I have not had a cold in about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I got the shot, I instantly got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And it was terrible. My whole body was hurting, aches, pains. It was terrible. I couldn't even breathe at one point. My son has a breathing machine, and I had to breathe on his breathing machine with albuterol.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just so fatigued. I was just sick. And then after that, I have been getting many colds after that.
Right.
And I boost my immune system. I'm an herbalist,
Mm-hmm.
And I do not get sick like that. And when my son had got the vaccine, he's getting sick quick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's something in it, it's not fully effective. People still die vaccinated,
I'm gonna put in the chat. Well, not right now, but later on in our group. I want y'all to watch this movie that I saw, or at least give it the name of it. You can watch it on its own. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff that's in the vaccine has the same, like the symptoms that people are getting is snake venom. All the same symptoms that people with somebody, if you got bit or animal got bit by a snake.
Yeah.
It's the same type of situations that are happening that would happen to your body. And so they done research on that. So I thought that was amazing. Yeah.
All right. I don't want to get too far away from the topic, but I was just trying to make a bit of a parallel from that. And let me go back to this point. I think we talked about it a little earlier. Of course, like I said, there's 26 states that are alleged to not be pass or not allow abortion within their states. So what's going to end up happening is people are going to have to go across state lines to different, whatever places they actually have abortion and able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just imagining a situation where, I don't know, a teenager or, we'll say a teenager is pregnant, a month pregnant, 2 months pregnant. And she has to go hide it and go all the way to, let's just say they ban it in Chicago and she got to go all the way to Milwaukee to get it done. And there've always been reports, since before Roe versus Wade was, put into play, that it doesn't stop it. People still go and have abortions. So the numbers don't drop. That, they just go and do it in a rustic barn or something like that. Somebody illegal is doing it. So how well is it actually going to work? Would it be just better just to keep it the way it is and then advocate against it, or say why you should advocate against it instead of just taking it away completely? Well, they're not taking it away completely. Not to speak on it, but making it up to the states.
Yeah. restricting access.
Right. Instead of just having it all 50 states, just maybe advocating why you shouldn't have it versus just making it up to the states to have it or not. I think it was probably more dangerous to overturn it for that reason.
Right.
I'd rather just argue against it if that's the case.
Yeah.
You're going to lose 2 lives.
Yeah.
Right. There's that too. There's that too. So you're going to end up killing 2 people because of that. And also, I don't want to say the old school way, but the bad way of doing an abortion usually has long-lasting implications to that person's body than the ones they have now. Of course, like we mentioned earlier, most of them, I think up to 90% of them are done by appeal. They're done earlier enough.
And so this data, right, even though people are going to go run across state lines or doing whatever they're going to do, when this information is still reported, they hire these analysts and these people who come up with these concepts, these think tanks. So whether it's approved or not, and the state says, "Oh, we're not doing it, we're not allowing it. This is not the third." They're going to use that information and that data to tighten up a little bit more, like what restrictions. If you go across state lines to have this done, do you have to be a resident of that state? Do you have to be a resident of a state and county?
Probably so.
So there's going to be some type of restrictions or something they're going to have in order for you to go do that. And doctors who don't follow that, they're going to look at them as being illegal, or if you perform these illegal surgeries and things like that, that you could be fined, lose your license, or so there's both ways. There's going to be something that they're going to have to put that they are putting in place. That's going to be, people going to be like, I like my livelihood, I ain't touching it. So I mean, if that's not already in place, I see that for coming.
Let me throw one more argument in. Oh, Raz, you got something to say? What?
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Like, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, it's gonna be an open door. Like, it's always gonna be something around it.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. I was gonna throw this one last part in, and it made perfect sense. I'm not sure if that's a little bit too far reaching. This is the precedent where we're overturning certain things, like I said, Roe versus Wade. Someone made a mention, if they were to do this, what if they overturned Brown versus Board of Education? Right? And make it up to the states of what schools allow minorities in their schools. Right? Where it's just all white schools or whatever, and they don't have to allow you in there. Like, would this set a precedent for that start happening after this? Because this is a big landmark case. So is so is Brown versus Board of Education. Do you think that has a chance of happening if this gets overturned?
Yeah, most definitely. Because if that was challenged, then why don't we challenge these other old, why don't we challenge everything else, basically, and honestly and truly, in the Black community, that wouldn't really be a bad thing, because it's a lot of Black people who feel as though we should have stayed segregated.
Okay.
So, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, they're gonna definitely start challenging a lot. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that, because what I've seen and learned over and just in my years living here is that it would be nice to have our own schooling to teach what we know is relevant and good, as opposed to what they've been feeding us for all this long time, and it's not really doing no good for us. But it is a way that they can, that they're going to just start dismantle everything that's put in place, that's been put to either help or support us as a whole. I just, again, there has to be a balance, but I hope that they do not. But it's anything's possible, and everything's a litmus test, and they're gonna try it.
Right.
And
One little door opens, it may open something else, right?
Yeah. Until somebody start punching them in the mouth. You know, everybody got a plan until you get hit in your mouth. The American people are tired.
Yeah.
So when it gets to the point where it's like, you know what, y'all going too far, it's gonna be some problems. So they keep doing it slowly but surely. But you know, it's definitely gonna be a clapback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we already seen an example of that. You know, January 6th, that was just the start of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought that was interesting though, to see if, you know, this happens, could it, you know, a bunch of other things be overturned? I don't think it would, but you never know, because it also depends on who's in the Supreme Court justice and what their mindset is. So,
and another thing, this critical race theory, you know, y'all did it. It needs to be exposed. The truth need to be told, but they don't want to have any accountability to say that, oh, we was wrong, we was the bad people. You know, so there's a lot that comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just something that they're fighting. So they're gonna keep trying it till, you know, they're the ones in power in a lot of places, have the financial resources, so they're gonna keep trying it.
All right. We'll come to a little conclusion there. Then we're gonna end the show with that. Appreciate y'all for having this in-depth conversation about this.
Yay!
For sure. Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens in the future. Maybe around July, they'll make a decision on this. Maybe we'll come back onto it and, you know, see what people's mindset will be once that actually happens. Maybe they won't overturn it. We'll see. We appreciate, you know, everybody showing up on the show, taking a listen to our show tonight, get some hostile therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it.
Yeah.
Need it.
Thanks for joining us. Raspberry and her favorite dog that came in there early. He's trying to be
He attacked me, didn't he? Like, he was like, I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? But he was like, woman, why aren't you a mom right now? He was like, you know, we have a little dated.
Holler at me. That's what the dog was saying. Yo, what's up?
He really was, you know, and his name's Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Snoop. You call him that every time he get in trouble or does something good?
His middle name is Nicholas. So I call him Nicholas when he in trouble. That's how he know he in trouble. But
he'd be like,
same thing with me. All right. Good
stuff.
Awesome. But can I do a shout out?
Yeah, go ahead, do a shout out.
Okay, so I'm having Make Me Thick boot camp. So anybody that wants to be involved, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to do. Raspberry Snicker. Yeah, we got to drop these pounds. I'm trying to get my body right and tight. Yeah.
What's the goal?
I'm trying to lose 60 pounds. So I'm 260 now. So. Yeah, 200 is you know, for me, or like, you know, a good 198. You know?
But Raza will tell you this: lose it slowly, not too quickly. You know, because you know, I was like, you know, our skin. I was even for myself, I was 2 something at one point, and I stopped lifting, and I started to see that when I was losing weight, I started to see when my losing weight too fast, and I saw when my skin was stretching. And then I was like, oh, hold up. I said, it was stretching, but it looked like it could be loose skin.
Yeah.
So I said, nah, I ain't doing that. Let me go ahead and put this back and let it come down, you know, slowly. So, yeah, I just see a lot of women, you know, if they lose weight too quickly, it has a drastic effect, you know, on their bodies as far as, and then, you know, they are different than men as well. So, yeah. So
they look a little sick. Well, I'm solid. I'm a weightlifter anyways. So I'm solid. Like all I really need to do is tone up. Like I just need to tone up, and it's like my face is the first thing to get fat. I got a double chin going on. I had a heartbreak. Okay, so I was just, and it's like I wasn't even eating. It's just I usually work out 2, maybe 4 hours a day, and I stopped doing that completely.
All right.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours for one.
Yeah.
So it actually can be detrimental to work that long too. I will look at reducing that to like an hour.
To nothing. So my body was like, "What are you doing?" You know. So yeah.
Give me 45 minutes. I'm good.
That's right.
That's good. You know, it's just that I have a lot on my plate, and you know, I just want my life to be what I know it can be. And when I get hit with like a closed door, okay, I look at the closed door like, okay, another door is going to open. But you get tired sometimes, you know, you get defeated.
Yes,
so it's just like, I need that. And then I'm a Sagittarius, you feel me? So terrorist. Okay. So we are like crazy in the brain sometimes. So I have to like either go to the gun range, boxing, workout.
For sure.
As long as you ain't, you know, carrying the gun range outside the gun range, that's all we care about. But you know,
I mean, it's always on my hippie, okay? Because that's what you want to do.
Don't make Raz mad at any point. You might get shot.
No, I'm an actually calm person. Don't try to fight me, okay? That's the thing. Yeah.
Might get shot. That's the worst.
Yeah. If you try to fight me, because I don't fight anymore.
You're gonna get these paws.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. Sorry. Like I just feel like I'm too pretty. Like my bones, I'm gonna be sore. Like my hair is too nice. Like why I need to do that? And then I don't even communicate like that anymore. So I will walk away. You can call me all types of stuff, whatever. I'm gonna walk away as soon as you try to touch me, though.
Yeah, that's a whole different aspect.
Don't be pretty in prison. Don't be pretty in prison because they love pretty in prison.
Oh, I'm gonna be top flight. I'm gonna be top dog. What you mean?
Oh, okay.
They gonna love me.
I bet they will.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. They gonna love me.
I bet they will. All night long. All right. All right. We're going to get out of here, guys. Let's end the show on that. Appreciate y'all for taking a listen to the show. We'll be back next Thursday. I hope y'all have a good night and a good day. Peace.
For sure. Peace. Love y'all.